What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Iccy Show. It's your girl, G Girl. I am about to get this actress from California to Boston 617. She goes by Star. And just give her a second to get on here. We will start this Iccy Show. She has a lot going on. She's in very big movies, very big shows. So we're going to give her a second to get on here. I just want to give a couple of shout outs real quick while we're waiting for Star to get on here. I look forward to being with her in Texas when I get out there in June. We're going to be doing this interview live. So shout out real quick to, in memory of Dawn Hazel, of course, a legend from Boston. Shout out to CVA, Tony Sup, Zulia Warriors, Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, DTF Radio, Virgo G, Sebastian's House of Toys, your boy, Custom Clothing, CMK, DJ Black, Groundbreaker, Colombian Dragon, what's going on? Massive Hustle Records, of course, Star. She's about to be on here. BMG Boys and Cliff. And everybody that supports the Iccy Show. Salute, salute. You're here? I don't see you on here, Queen. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. All right. I just sent you another invite. This is going to be a great interview. Salute, salute, everybody. Check out the Bible studies from last night, everyone, if you missed it. Here we go. Welcome, Star, to the Iccy Show again. How you doing today, Queen?
I'm good. I'm really good.
I'm really good. I'm glad I got you on. Welcome again to the Iccy Show. I appreciate you taking the time to come on here.
Thank you.
So let's you are you getting adjusted to your camera?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
A little bit more.
How do I move the words away?
Oh, I don't see the. No, those are the people that are doing the comments. It's not there though.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm good.
Okay. I appreciate you coming on again. This is Star. She's a Hollywood movie star. She's in many movies and web series, and she's actually got a lot to talk about today. So, when did you start getting into become an actress?
Oh, I would say about 30 years ago, after I had went through a window and severed every muscle, tendon, and nerve in my right arm. I was already in cosmetology school, and so my teacher begged me not to leave. She made me use the Marcel curling irons for therapy, and from there, I landed in the entertainment industry doing hair and makeup. So that was where it started in about 83.
Now,
Yeah.
Do you do your own makeup for on set?
I do. But there's sometimes when I like for them to just handle your business.
I love it. I love how they do it. I've been, seeing your pictures and your posts and stuff, and it's beautiful. They do a great job. You do a great job too on yourself.
Thank you.
Lorenzo's saying blessings to you. He's saying hello.
Hello, how are you?
He's throwing the hearts up, so salute definitely. So how does it feel to be in this industry? Do you feel like you get your time consumed into it too much away from your family, or do you feel like, it comes and it goes, that they let you have a break sometimes?
Well, remember back, okay, I probably, if life really wouldn't have happened for me, I would have been part of the Harvey Weinstein crew where, and that's one thing I did not want to be on nobody's casting couch. So I kind of just faded out. but the industry has always come to me. You know, I don't go to it, it comes to me. And it's really funny. And I give this to my parents because they're the ones that started it, calling me their little movie star when they gave me little sunglasses when I was about 4 years old. And so I guess that's where my foundation is subconsciously, because everything that has happened in the industry, I'm telling you, doors just seem to open. You know, it's where I'm supposed to be. I had a conversation with Mike Epps and Tyrese years ago, and I told them my story, and they said, "This is where you belong."
Definitely.
Because they said, "You're not trying to ask us for it." I said, "First of all, before you're a celebrity, you're a man, you're human." You know, I mean, what is there to get all excited about, you know? So Mike Epps told me to go back to school. I went back to school, and then I got an agent, and then from there on, it's just been like, wow.
That's amazing. Now let them know, we know that you're in Claws. They had a new one last week, am I correct?
Right. I was in the week before. They gave me excellent camera time. It looked like I was texting the doctor. We were at the juice bar, and he was on his phone, and I was on my phone. So it was kind of a neat little scene because they really gave me good camera time. And the funny thing is everybody, they wanted everybody in different colors, and so I like to wear orange. And I told wardrobe, because they knew me from season 3, I told them, I said, "Look, I'm not taking my orange off. You're gonna make everybody else take their orange."
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think you look hot in pink. I think pink is your color too. Like that bright pink that you're in. I think it brings your eyes out, the glow in your face. I really think pink is your color too.
Believe it or not, I was going through my closet, and I look at my clothes, and I'm determined to get back into my to my clothes, because I'm normally slimmer. And I'm not blaming this weight on COVID. I'm blaming this weight on getting older and and not exercising, because it's the muscles that burn the fat, you know, and then how you eat as well. So, and since I'm from Cali, I eat really clean. I don't eat heavy stuff. And when I moved to Texas, oh my God, they were feeding us like we were going to the electric chair. All this. No shit though, serious. And I'm like, no. Everybody walking around with high blood pressure, with an obesity look. I'm like, no. I can't do that one.
What's your favorite food?
Really? I love greens, because my mom would fix greens. I love greens, but I love salad. I love roasted vegetables.
I love that too. My son's favorite vegetable is collard greens.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so
Nice.
I love collard greens. I just learned how to make them 2 years ago. I thought my whole life I thought they were really hard to make until my aunt showed me, and I'm like, that's it. This whole time
That's
I
it.
wanted to make it like this, and she goes, yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I make them all the time. I love them, and they're really good for
Right?
you.
Right. I want to roast some vegetables for you when you come.
Okay, I'm down. I love vegetables. I love it.
Yeah.
So in California, they got the fresh fruit. Like they got the pineapple, mangoes, right? The mango tree right there.
They do. It's really refreshing, because everybody, I mean, you got the 2 or 3% that likes to eat heavy stuff, you know, but for the most part, everybody just eats like fruits, vegetables, natural stuff. Not so much organic, because we do have people that eat organic, which is fine. But you feel so much better when you eat lighter. You don't feel bloated. It's just, you have energy. It's good energy.
Yes. What's the longest set when you filmed for either a movie or for a web series that it took you on to do it?
You really want to know?
Yes.
Filthy Rich.
Really?
Did you ever see the show Filthy Rich?
Yes.
I was in the first five. I was in the first 5 episodes, and baby, in 2 days, I made like $600 because they gave us overtime.
Okay.
And then, the next one was, I can't even, Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
And the scene that I'm in, they flooded the streets downtown New Orleans. Because, and then they gave us boots so we could wade through the water. But I didn't have to wade through the water because I was an upscale citizen, and I was really dressed nice, and I was on the corner talking with another actor, and I didn't even realize I was in that scene because the camera is on me waiting for Hugh Jackman to come around the corner. So I got seen in that one. So I got seen in a whole lot of them. Sometimes we end up on the cutting room floor, but we got paid.
That's awesome. Definitely, definitely. What's the best advice you've been given being an actress?
Take it slow. Really know if this is for you, because if you're not willing to take direction and instruction, that's not for you. Because Hollywood has a vision, and they know, and a lot of things that I've been in are director picked, picture picked by the director. So when that occurs, they're looking for a certain look, a certain, as you say, je ne sais quoi. And so it goes off without a hitch. Because like in Claws, I always get director picked for a scene.
You look like you're having fun when you do it. You look like a natural. And I say you because I filmed a couple of times, well, a few different movies and web series, and I've been nervous, and you just go so natural, like with the flow with it. Have you ever gotten nervous on set?
Let me think. I can't. No, because I cut up on set too much.
Okay.
I do. I cut up on set. Sometimes I'm in the way of the crew moving equipment to change scenes, and they be like, trying to be nice. And I said, haven't you heard that song by Ludacris? Move, bitch, get out the way.
I love it. I love it.
So, yeah, no, I'm not nervous. Now, this upcoming stage play that I'm doing, it's a 60-page script. So I've been finding myself when I'm waiting or doing something, I'm sitting in the car and I'm reading my script. I'm reading my lines. Or I'm here at my friend's house and I'm walking through the house reading my lines. And, because this is not like the movies, because it's not cut, reset. No, you got to get it right the very first time because we're doing it live.
Wow, wow. I know what you're talking about. I have an 80-page I got to study for June, and I'm nervous. I'm really nervous on this one. And you know, I'd be doing the same thing. I'm practicing. My kids think I'm talking to them. I'm like, no, I'm just practicing my lines. And I'm like, I need one of you to be the other people. They're like, Ma, we don't want to be an actor or actress. We just want to be kids. And I'm like, oh, well, I just need someone. I wish I had someone that I could, you know, rehearse with ahead of time. But it's a good feeling, you know. And you're about to do a kids movie, right?
Oh my goodness. I'm filming. In fact, I'm COVID testing tomorrow. I'm COVID testing Friday. I'm COVID testing Sunday. I'm filming Monday and Tuesday. And then I'm booked again on another production. And since I'm not going home February, I'll be filming all month. But one of the reasons why I'm not going home is I call her my sister, and I drove in because someone very close to us hung themselves, and I got the call and I said, I'm on my way. She was only 26 years old. And so I said, I'm on my way. I didn't know about no damn hurricane. Girl, I get here. I'm like, a week later, this motherfucker is ripping shit up. And we're right smack dab in the eye of it, right there by the airport. We went upstairs to her third bedroom and looked out the window as that bitch was ripping roofs off. Oh my God, ripping trees from the roots. It was no joke.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And so now she's moving back in because her landlord had to redo the whole complex. It's a fourplex, and she's moving back in next week. So she's moving everything in. And so while she's working, I'm going to be putting her house together till I start filming on the next production.
That's really nice of you. That's really nice for her to have someone so close to her. You know, it's hard to find people that you can trust, especially in this industry. You know, people take your kindness for a weakness, but you have a good heart, and it's good that, you know, she's lucky to have a friend like you. And I'm appreciating you when I come into Texas, staying with you, and I look forward, you know, to being on set with you, and you know, just to get to know you. This is your second time on the Iccy Show, but I feel like I've known you for years just by our conversations, and you're really down to earth. And a lot of actresses and actors, they're not really like that. They're really snooty, the ones that I've met. And no disrespect to anybody, but you know, we're all human. And you know, have you ever gotten judged from your other friends that aren't in the industry?
Well, they know, the ones that super duper know me, they know when I put my mind to something, I'm fixing to do it. And wild, crazy, straight, no cut, no chaser, I'm there.
Yes. That's good. You know, you look beautiful. And you know, I respect you because you've been through a lot. And how many movies or web series you think you've been into altogether during your career?
Probably about 35. A couple I haven't listed, but today I went on my IMDb page and I was putting up the latest stuff. Like, you know, when you do so much, sometimes it doesn't come right to the top of your head. I have to even go to my own IMDb to see what I've done, you know. And so what did I do last time? I was on set with somebody. Oh, you know the guy that does No One on Pizza's the Hut, Craig Robinson?
Oh, yes.
I was on set with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's really funny because I was in a car accident. I was okay and everything, but my car, her nose job got pushed in. So I had to have a rent-a-car. And so they called me to film, and they gave me 5 days of filming straight, but on 2 different productions. But on that particular production, everybody really knows me on set here. And so Matt came to me and he goes, "Hey, you got your car?" I go, "Yeah, I got a car." It was the rent car. So they used my car, they paid me for my car. And it struck me really funny because where I was at in this particular scene originally, I was in the back. I wasn't even going to be seen. So I was telling them, I said, "Y'all need to find me a stool, a chair, a brick, so I can sit my entire ass down. I'm tired of standing." It felt like we were standing 365 days in that one day.
Oh, wow.
And so they called me and makeup came over. Makeup didn't touch nobody that day except the main characters. They pulled me and came and patted my face and straightened me up, and then they shot the scene. So I'm like, okay. And then my friend who I film with, she knows him, and we were going to go to the gym and work out, and Craig was coming with us. And so we're sitting in the car waiting because it rained, so they paid us for getting wet too. So we're sitting in the car, and they were shooting a scene about 20 feet ahead of us. And she goes, "I'm going to call Craig right now." And I'm like, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, he's not answering." I said, "Oh my God, is this a scene out of Rush Hour?" Remember at the end of the movie when Chris Tucker got a phone call?
Yeah.
I was like, no shit. He's shooting a scene. He's got a camera in front of his face. He's not going to answer the phone.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
It was. It really was. It really was.
How many movies would you like to complete during your career?
As many as God has for me.
Amen to that, definitely.
You know, this is going to be a life-changing role, this stage play. I mean, because I'm putting down my acting chops in a real way. Emotion. It's a true story. And the director is the one, it's her story, and I'm playing her mother.
Oh, wow. So it's going to be a touchy one.
Yes, and I'm telling you, this is going to be a phenomenal stage play because her mother used to run the streets, and now she's living for God.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that's parallel to my story.
Wow.
And so her mother had a gold grill. When she sat down and she was telling me the details and stuff, her mother had a gold grill when she was running the streets, and she kept her gold grill. And so now she's living for God, and the front of her hair is purple because it stands for royalty with God.
Yes, yes.
So they're sending me to a dental tech 2 weeks before we go on stage. They're going to do my hair and color it purple in the front.
Oh, that's amazing.
That is, I mean, this is, like I said, this role is going to change my life.
Yes.
I mean, in a way where so many other doors are going to be open behind this. And everybody on stage, I believe doors are going to fly open for them because it's a super talented cast. I mean, super talented.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever watched the web series All American?
I haven't. I am in the web series Vindication, season 1.
I I haven't seen that one yet.
It's a faith-based one.
It's a based on a true story, that one?
No, it's a faith-based one.
Oh, okay, okay. I recommend
Hmm.
you watching All American whenever you get a chance. It's
Okay.
my 11-year-old son got me into this.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's based on a true story about a football player, but there's racism in it. It's things we're dealing with right now. And
Wow.
yes, and I'm actually watching it every day with my son. My son's way ahead of me. I just caught up, but I recommend everyone to watch that. The police killed a high school girl in it, and it's very touchy. But I feel like, what we're going through, everybody in the world, I think we all can relate to this web series. And I know you
Wow.
I know you've been through a lot. We talked personally, but you're in a lot of web series. This one touched my heart. Being an actress myself, this one hurt, like I cried. And
Yeah.
have you ever got touched when you like emotional when you have to say your lines, and then real tears come to your eyes when you have to say?
This stage play, I cry every time I read it.
Wow.
And my lines are really deep. I mean, as it gets into the play, my role is really deep because I pass away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but see, it's called The Worst 32 Days. She loses her grandmother, her mother, and her uncle all in 32 days.
Oh, wow, I can relate to that. That's crazy.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And so, and the family is from Terrell, Texas.
Isn't that where you live right now?
That's exactly where I live.
Wow, that's meant to be. That's God coming to touch you, to make you get this role. This is going to be your life opening of all your clouds, and this is going to be your breakthrough. I feel that. I feel that 100%, especially how everything's like, you've been through hell and hell water, and you're a fighter, and I feel like you're going to do wonderful. I think this is going to come, even though that 60 page is a lot to remember.
Well, no, 30 pages of it is mine.
Oh, okay. 30 pages is a lot. I mean, anything past 20, I feel like it's a lot, because you have to be on when somebody else is telling, like, you got to know their line, because when you need to come in, you need to be on point. And but I really feel in my heart, this is gonna be a really good one for you, and I know it's gonna touch you, just by what you just told us, what it's about. And um you lost a lot of people too, and I hope you get an award on this movie play. I really do. I really, in my heart, I pray you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You deserve it. You really do, Star. Have you ever gotten an award yet?
The movie, no, it's a short indie film. The movie got an award. I didn't get one personally, but it was a friend of mine that was in the show. He got Best Supporting Actor. But really, it should have been Best Supporting Actors, because that was another faith-based film. And it was a good one. It was a really, really good one. And so, what other award? I mean, I've gotten different awards at different times. But the real award, I give God the glory, was when I sat on the board for the city of Dallas for the Homeless Commission.
Oh.
And I had a 4-year term, and so I was part of the vote to vote for $20 million for permanent housing for the homeless. to
That's
get them started, through the process to get mental health treatment and to go through, it's a process. And then once they finish the process, whether it be a program or school, then they will receive their housing voucher.
oh, wow, that's amazing. That's really
Yeah,
amazing.
that's one of my precious awards because I was Commissioner Conrad, and it's and it was so funny because to wear that hat and to be an officer of the court, but like I said, God pardoned my past because my past isn't altogether lovely, but it's what molded me. And
Yes.
so God had pardoned me because, trust me, I did not, had I known, because the fear rose up, had I known that I was going to have a federal background check, take a federal oath, I probably would have just shrank back. So when I went through it, I just threw my hands up. I said, well, you know what, God, if you want me to have it, I'll take it. But if not, I'm not going to be upset. This blessing don't have my name on it. That blessing had my name all over it.
Wow.
I obtained and I have a federal security clearance.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's like
So
that's like what you've been through your life and stuff. That's amazing to have that. A lot of people can't even get that. Salute everybody. I see your comments. Salute. I appreciate you.
I loved everybody.
Go check out her web series, Claws. What episode are you in?
Which one?
Claws. What episodes are you in on Claws?
I'm in 8. Actually, I'm in a whole bunch of them, but I got to really see myself in episode 8, which was 2 weeks ago. Now, this week coming, and there's only 2 episodes left, so they're going to either, my car will be seen in this one, and I probably will be seen in this one, because they got a really good shot of me sitting in front of the nail shop, because when they booked me, they said, what does your hands look like? So I knew I was booked for it. So what I did, because I did season 3, I had hot pink nails and hot pink toes, and I had a lighter color hairpiece on, and I'm sitting in front of the nail shop like I just came out, and they got me looking like suntan Barbie.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But I think hot pink is your color. I really do. I feel that. Like it brings your glow out. I've seen you in different colors like through your pictures and stuff, but I really think that hot pink is your color. You know how they say certain colors is everyone's, like you got your own color? They say blue's my color. That's what everybody says. But hot pink is definitely your color. Like it brings your whole glow to surface. Like I really see it 1000%. And I love it. I really do. And you're always smiling, no matter what you're going through, you're always smiling. And I commend you 1000%. And I really hope, out of all the movies and web series you've been on, you deserve to get an award just for you, not anybody else, just for you. And anybody that's watching that does award shows for the movies and web series, this woman really does deserve one. She was on my Iccy Showw about 6 months ago, and she well deserves to get it. She puts a lot of work in. She's been through hell and hell water, and she still has that positive light to keep on going. A lot of people give up, and I commend you 1000%. You're a mom, and it's hard to balance everything out when you've been through a lot of trauma, or you've been through hell, or whatever the case may be. And you keep on going. You're a fighter.
To be honest, I don't know how to feel sorry for myself. And a lot of times I was in the hospital and nobody even knew I was posting from my hospital bed.
Wow. Did I know you in that time or no?
No, this was about 3.5 years ago. Because I had like 5 different surgeries simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, at least you're here. God got plans for you. God got plans for you to, to go forward and help other people that been through trauma like you've been. And we talked,
Right.
I had you and I had a similar case with our health when we talked about it last time. And
Right.
God is good. I believe in that. That's why I do my Bible studies. I force it every week. And, people like, oh, skip it. I'm not going to skip giving thank you to God. He let me have another chance of life. And a lot of people don't get that. They only think about themselves. And that it's
Right.
sad to be selfish.
Right. Right. But this is the thing. Keep doing your Bible study, because let me just share this little nugget. Show yourself approved when you study. Because let me tell you, we really are in the end times.
Yes.
And people that have a poverty mindset, because God has created us. If you read Jeremiah 29:11, it's to prosper us and not harm us. So God intends for us to be prosperous. But see, that goes back to when I thought I was the whole bag of chips running the streets. You understand? Creating this facade. And all it was a facade, because nothing really lasted. I ended up parlaying my ass, and I ended up meeting the Manson girls. You understand what I'm saying? So, but when God got a hold of me, when I was facing 26 to life, to witness my pastor and my mentor coming in with the favor of God, and they would have me pulled out, unlike no other inmates got that treatment.
Yeah.
And so they were teaching me, they were praying with me, and the whole time I'm facing 26 to life. And that's when I learned to smile, because it was not in my hands. And my children wrote a letter, and I definitely wrote a letter to the judge, and I said, look, nobody held a gun to my head to sell drugs. I didn't collect welfare.
Right.
I was a single mother because I had to walk away from my relationships. You know how in the end, you learn more about a person than you do in the beginning?
Yes.
So, and then the lady next to me in her cell, we had the same judge. He offered her a deal of 8 years, and she had a chip on her shoulder. No. And we had the same judge. And because he watched my demeanor the last time that I walked into the court, because I would have court dates, so what he was doing was watching my demeanor, and I didn't know that till afterward. And so he goes, I don't know how you dodged this bullet, but I am not going to give you probation. I'm going to let you finish your time. And I hope you turn your life around.
Wow.
And let me tell you, when I came through, see, everybody knows me in the Bay Area, in Silicon Valley. And my name is all good, even in the streets, even to this day. And they know who I live for today. I don't live for the devil no more. And it was like when I got out, well, when I came back from court, I was screaming and shouting and crying, and all the COs were like, leave her alone. She's going home. And everybody was like, oh yeah, you going down, because I was always in and out. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's why I say I don't have anything to hide.
Right.
You know how people always want to dig up dirt?
Yeah.
I tell them myself, and I own my shit.
Yep, that's how I am. I'm the same way, and people hate that we're so, like, we're honest about that.
Well, I don't have nobody to impress.
Right.
You understand? I don't have no reason to lie, especially on anybody. Because if you want the truth, I'm gonna give it to you, and I'm gonna be raw with it, because I'm not sugarcoating anything.
Right.
You know, so when I did that, that's when my whole life completely turned around. And I ended up going back to LA to take care of my mother, because my sister had passed away.
Oh.
And so she had passed from lung cancer. She had quadruple bypass surgery, and they caught the cancer, but it went into remission, and then it came back out.
Oh, wow.
And so I had to go back and take care of my mother at that point. And then, you know, I'm still making mistakes now, but I'm still walking with God. You know, we as women need to understand that God chooses our mate.
Yes.
And when I realized that I didn't choose, my flesh chose my ex-husband.
Yes.
And all the grimy things that this individual did, all I can do now, because I've asked God to break that soul tie years ago, but also I just said, I will forgive as many times as I have to, so I can have inner peace and so I can stay set free.
Yes.
Because if it was left up to me, he would be taking a dirt nap. And I'm being honest.
Yes.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. But because God had grace on me, I'm going to give grace to you.
Right.
Just stay out of my life. Stay out of my way.
Yes.
You know, so that's when God started showing me, when my flesh chose this individual, I really had low self-esteem. And we have to learn to be honest with ourselves, to allow the things that we go through.
Yes.
But see, had I to follow God's plan out the gate, I would have waited. I would have been with the right individual. I would probably be on the Riviera somewhere. But, you know, but all of this was part of the plan. All of it was part of the plan. But I tell you now, it's taught me the character of people, but it just has different faces.
Right. Right.
You know, and that's why I tune in to your Bible study. I tune in, you know, yeah. And that's a wonderful thing, because you got your son sitting right next to you.
Yes. I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful.
Yes.
You know, it's hard, you know. I'm a single mom, and you know, of course I want to be with someone, but I have to choose the right one, because it's not for me. I have kids, you know, and if they can't accept my children or be a good role model, I don't want them around my children.
Right.
Altogether. So
Right.
what could you give some recommendations? Are you single now, or are you with somebody, if you don't mind me asking?
I am very much single, enjoying the journey. And yes, I know I'm going to end up getting married again, but this time I learned how to pray specifically. See, God says you have not because you ask not. Yes.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And and you cannot pray amiss. So in this season, many seasons back, because it's taken me literally 5 to 6 years for God to purge me, to purify my heart and my soul, for me to be with the right individual. And they have to be established. And because I'm in the industry, I cannot go backwards to an average person.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I don't.
Right.
But there's so many things that is on my vision board that I intend to accomplish. And it can't be with an everyday person. You know, they have to be in the industry, because I'm going to respect their space. They're going to respect my space. And when we come together, it's going to be quality time, or we'll just jump on a plane and go have dinner in Paris somewhere, you know. And I truly believe this, because I already know where I'm supposed to be, being wealthy.
Yes.
And my wealth will be able to bless people. You know, I don't often say stuff like helping people. You know, it's really wonderful thing when you see a single mother or somebody struggling, and you tell the cashier, let him go, I'm paying for it.
That's amazing.
You know, I had a man, I came from my doctor's appointment, and we were just chatting. Very nice, very nice. He was waiting for his wife to pick him up, and the subject got on God. And I was telling him my story, and he just went in his pocket, in his wallet, and handed me $100. He said, God said, you need this. So I know how God operates.
Yes.
I know how God operates. And God doesn't operate like when people say, I'm praying for money, I'm praying. You can't pray for money. You have to sow for money.
Yes.
And that's the difference, where people are with a religious mentality. You can't just pray and say, oh, no, I sow. Last month, I sowed about $1,200. And then all of a sudden, see, but where I sow is fertile ground. My prophet sows tens of thousands of dollars. He just made $1 million. He has like 11 streams of income, so he don't rely on, he blesses. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so he took that $1 million and sent it to Israel.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then he sends tens of thousands of dollars to Africa for clean water. So I know without a doubt, when I sow, it's for a greater good.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking care of God's people, and then God takes care of me in return.
Yes, I believe in that too. I don't have money like that, but I do, like, you know, if I see someone that needs, like, say $15 at the register, like what you were just saying, or something, you know, if I have it, I'm gonna swipe my card or whatever, you know, to help. You know, I had a lady one time, it was right before Christmas, and I work at one of my jobs is at a supermarket. And I seen this lady, this mom, she had 3 kids with her. It was right before Christmas. And I could see in her, you know, she was embarrassed. She was starting to put things away. And I said, ma'am, she goes, don't go over. I think it was like $50 or something. And I said, oh, I'll help you. And she goes, no, you work here. And I was like, don't judge me where I work. I said, you know, maybe I can help you. Like, let me see how much it goes over. So long story short, it went over like 15 something. And so I swiped my card, you know, like, and she started crying. Like, she really was like grateful, and her kids, you know, it melted my heart. Kids are my my soul. Like, I see so many things happen to kids, and they're so innocent, and they shouldn't be going through, you know, this pain that what's happening to them. They're innocent, like I said.
Right.
And she had a newborn baby. She had maybe a 5-year-old, maybe a 7-year-old. And I've been there, like, struggle. And, you know, she was buying diapers, you know, stuff that you could tell she needed, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so
Right.
I felt bad. And, you know, I even let a couple things go through the register for her because, you know, I've seen the struggle, you know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, that's
Yes,
bad.
ma'am.
I said, God, please forgive me, but, you know, this lady really needs it, and I could see it. And, you know, she started crying, and that feeling was amazing, knowing that I helped someone, especially right at Christmas time. And you know what I did? I ended up buying, like, candy for the kids. You know, like, I asked to go on a break real quick, and then I went and I bought some candy for the kids because it was like the week before Christmas, and I gave it to her. I ran after her and I gave it to her. I bought a whole bunch of candy at the register and I just ran and gave it to her. She goes, no, no, you did enough. I said, no, this is, God is telling me to do this for you, and I got to do it. I have to listen to God because I've been single for 3.5 years. I was married for 17 years. And, you know, that's why I don't settle for anybody. You know what I'm saying? You have to have the person on the same page, like you said, because if they don't have a heart of gold like you, then it's going to turn to sour apples. You cannot have somebody like that around you when, you know, you're doing good, and then they're actually really not doing good, and they're going to try to bring you down when you are making a lot of changes for the positive for the people in the world. And that's amazing what you did. And I know God is gonna bless you what you did, especially helping the people in Africa. I believe in that very firmly. People, you know, they say, oh, they lie, but that's the motherland of our country, and people don't understand.
Listen to my sister, where I went home in California. You saw the videos, right?
Yes.
Okay. She does global work. She lifts up the continent of Africa.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
And I'm telling you, when our souls get together, it's unlike, well, you'll get to experience it when you come visit.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking. You're one person I really cannot wait to meet in person, because I feel like we have so much in common. In that, you know, the first time I talked to you, I think we were on the phone for what, 2 hours or something like that, and it went like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe it, and it just felt so natural, like I met you before. Like that's what I feel, and you know, I really look forward to meeting you in person and to be with you, and you know, give you a hug. I feel like our souls are like similar, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It does make sense. It does. Because God is connecting his true people, his people of soul.
Yes.
You know, and the sad part about society is I wish they would stop the stigma, oh, black person, white person. Why can't just it be a soul? You're helping a soul.
Yeah.
You know, forget all that other trash and garbage and religion. It's a relationship, and your first relationship starts with God. And God has to take us through the fire to purge us.
Yes.
I mean, let me tell you real quick. About 2 weeks ago, when I was going through, when I walked away from the marriage and all the grimy stuff that was done to me purposely, I had stuffed a whole lot of shit, you know, just to stay numb.
Yeah.
And I had went to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor aggressively did my back, lined my back up. And so I had got an earache, and it was affecting my throat. So I went to the doctor to get some antibiotics. So the next morning, I was kind of like in a little pain, and the doctor gave me some morphine pain pills. So, and I don't take no type of pills today in my life, but when I'm in pain, my doctor that did my surgery, my nurse practitioner that was doing my labs and stuff, she goes, the objective is to not have pain. Take the pain pill if you need it. So long story short, I had got up and I always drink water. Where's my water? This is the water that I drink. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Oh, yes, yes.
So I drink this all day, every day. And this one particular morning, because most of the time when God wakes me up, like between 3 and 6, he wants me to worship. But God was up to something this particular day, because when I drank my water, I couldn't hold it down. And I just kept throwing up and throwing up and throwing up. And I promise you, it felt like I was throwing up demons that from my past when I was in this marriage that I wasn't supposed to be in.
That's crazy.
That was like the finale. That was like the finale to where whatever happens to this individual, I don't even want to know. It ain't even between me. It's between him and God. And I'm done with it. I'm done with it. But today, I'm telling you, I wake up with more joy, more peace, more love, more, my heart's desire is to I want to sow that seed, my $1,000 seed, all at once, not in increments, because that's the $1 million seed. That's the $1 million seed that's going to cause the witty inventions, and that's in the Bible too. That's in Proverbs. The witty inventions and the ideas and investing. And I already have my LLC for real estate. So eventually, I'm gonna. Yeah, that's one of my long-term goals, is to purchase several pieces of real estate and put it under my umbrella, my LLC. And I have my son's name on it, so I can leave them a legacy.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Especially, you're thinking of your children. The children are the tree of our bloodline. And a lot of people don't realize that. And I've been saying that. I'm like, you got to think for the children. The children, when we were growing up, things were a struggle, but we had more activities after school. We had more things to keep us occupied. Now everything's just getting stripped. And, it's good to get life insurance. If you can't afford to buy property, I get life insurance so your children don't have to struggle to, if you have to bury you. That's important. People need to realize, life insurance, you really got to invest.
And see, this is the way I grew up, because anyone that has passed, I remember when my grandmother passed, my granddaddy gave it to my mama. And that's when they didn't want me to grow up in Los Angeles, because I was raised on a ranch in San Bernardino, California. And so when my sister passed, she left $1 million insurance policy plus other money. But the other money, the $1 million, was left for my mother and me. So my mother had control of it until she passed. But when my sister passed, she left money to my aunt and to my mother, but they gave their money to me. So that's just how it's been ingrained in me. And I've always had policies. I have about 5 policies.
Wow.
And the only thing that's priority to me is paying my tithes and paying my insurance. I pay my other bills, but that's on my high priority list. Right. I will not pay a bill to pay my tithes. Right. God's just first. Right. Straight up. God is first.
Yes, definitely. Wow, that's crazy. How do your kids, do you have one child or 2 children?
2.
Now, did they like you being an actress as their mom, or?
they my kids, they know they mama, and if I'm in it, they in it with me.
That's awesome.
Because when I drove limousines, they'll tell you they grew up doing their homework on the front seat of a limousine. My boss let me take my kids with me on my runs and stuff. So see, that's still the entertainment industry. Even though I backed off the entertainment industry, I was still in the entertainment industry. Because
Right.
I drove Hollywood, I drove corporate in Silicon Valley, you know. I remember when I was with Stephen's father for Father's Day, I was going to, I got tickets to see Steve Harvey.
Oh, wow.
And I'll be damned, I ended up driving him.
Really?
Yeah, I ended up being his driver for the weekend. So I just had Steve Harvey just autograph the tickets.
Wow.
I mean, that's how life is. My mom used to give me money to go put gas in the car, and I would run out of gas on the way going get gas. I have a flat tire on my way to go get a set of tires. I can't explain it, but that's how. And so I've just learned to just roll with it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I know the feeling. Are you a grandma?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. I know that when you get that opportunity, I know that those kids are gonna be really, that's gonna be your delight of your Sunday, I should say.
That's going to be my second chance because I am going to make sure everything that God has placed in them, I'm going to watch so I can nurture it from a child up. If they like, see, I was raised and we had a grand piano in our living room and nobody taught me how to play the piano.
Oh, wow.
So I have issues.
I understand. I understand what you're talking about. I do.
You know, so yeah, I want them to know different languages. I want them to travel. Now with my kids, I sent them to the Nutcracker, different plays and stuff like that. But when I grew up, my parents had me in etiquette school and charm school and speech therapy. And it was like, ugh. But I look back, they were grooming me for success.
Right. Yes. That's funny you said that because my grandmother used to have me go to church every Saturday, and then I would have to go to church every Sunday for CCD too. So I'm like, why all my friends aren't going? And I had aunts that were nuns and I had uncles that were priests. So I was like at a strict home, and my sister, she's younger than me by 13 or 14 years, and she got away with everything. And I'm like, if I was that age, I wouldn't be able to get away with that. But then I look at it now that I do the Bible studies, and I'm like, God is great because I used to complain when I was younger. My friends didn't have to go to CCD. They didn't have to go to church twice a week. And I would be like, why do I have to? And if I stayed at my grandmother went to church every single day, 7 days a week, 7 days a week. And if I had to go,
She was determined to get into heaven.
yes, she lived to 95, 96 years old. 96, my grandmother lived to. So, when I had to go there in the summer I stayed at my grandmother's. And so I had to go to church 7 days a week when I was staying there in the summertime. When I turned 15, I said, I'm not going to Nana's no more. I'm staying home. I'm old enough to be by myself. And my mom be like, oh no, you have to go. And I'll be sitting there, no, I got to go to church every day. I'm not going no more. But I feel bad, and I ask God, for forgiveness for saying those things, because now I have the gift to, teach my kids, about the Bible studies, teach other kids about the Bible. And it feels so good when I do it. And, you know, that's why I only keep it 15, 20 minutes, because I know kids don't want to sit there and it's overpowering, you know, what you're talking about. So their brain is like going skit scat. And I don't want to be like that. I just want to teach them, you know, just for the knowledgement of the Bible. And, you know, they could take it when they get older and be like, oh, that girl, that lady taught me about the Bible. My parents didn't teach me, but that lady, I used to watch her show. And, you know,
That's the seed. That's the seed you planted. And trust me, God gives the increase. And as long as you're putting the word in them, fine, it can't be plucked out of them.
Yes, yes, I believe that too. I really do. And it feels so good, Star. Like, I can't, like, I get tears in my eyes sometimes, like, you know, when I'm talking to children in the neighborhood and, you know, they don't really know much and they're older than my kids, but it feels good to teach them. Like, I feel so, like, I feel wonderful, like I'm rich off of it. And it's like, I like, it's a great feeling. Like, I feel good. I feel really, really good in my heart. And, you know, I'm thankful. You know, I had some scary life situations that, you know, my life could have been taken. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that God has left me here to see my kids grow up, you know, to meet you, meet wonderful people like yourself. And, you know, I really look forward to meet you in person. And I know you're a really good person. Like, I feel it. Like, I feel your vibe. I feel like, I don't know, like, I feel like we've been through so much, like when we were talking back and forth. And I'm so blessed to have you on my show. And anytime you want to be on my show, call me. I got you. Anything for promotion, you know, tag me. You know, I want them to give you an award. Like, I really, really feel like people like us that struggle, been through hell and hell water, and is trying to make a difference and trying to, you know, be there for other people. You know, I don't have the money, but like, my heart is worth a lot of money. That's how I look at it.
Listen to me. Rome wasn't built in a day. This is why I need you to understand. Even when I was how do I say, even when I was fraternizing with the Manson girls where I was at CIW, I had a pay slot because I went to fire camp. So it wasn't even like I went to prison or anything. I went to fire camp. I went to mother infant. So I could, after fire camp, I could go home and spend the weekend with my baby. And then I got work furlough. So it wasn't really like I was even on the inside. But I'm going to tell you this. I started sewing probably back in the 80s, probably about $2, $3. Then when I started seeing and understanding the sewing and reaping, when I started working, then I would give 10%. But what I do, even when I sew, I put an assignment on my seed, and I'll still sew 10%. You know, I won't just, because see, people need to really understand it all belongs to God anyway.
Yes.
And people with a poverty mentality will always say, no, I ain't doing, no, hell. Oh. But see, everything you're saying is being recorded in the heavens. They got angels that specifically record everybody's conversation.
Yes, I believe that too.
So now, when your finances dry up and you get kicked out of your place or your car starts tearing up, you know, because I know that's why I cannot afford not to sew, because that's my provision, you know. And when I dropped that big seed, I'm telling you, all kind of doors started flying open. And that's just minute, you know, because what I would really like is to be able to give and bless people. And see, when I get my money, I put my money away, and then I wait after I pay my tithes and my bills. Then I say, well, what do you want me to do with the rest of this? And God probably just says, just wait, just wait. Now, when I went to California, I really didn't want to go in my savings. And so the insurance place, the other people's insurance paid, right? And I ended up building a rapport with the woman. And so she just made everything, she was like an angel. Because you know, when you deal with other people's insurance,
Yes.
they can be real nasty. Well, this woman just made everything smooth and easy, paid for it. Nothing had to come out of my pocket.
That's amazing.
And so after my car got fixed, they handed me an $850 check. And that was due to that woman.
Wow.
So what I did was I found out where her actual office was, somewhere in Columbus, Ohio, and I sent her an edible arrangement.
Oh, that's nice. Really nice.
She didn't expect it. I didn't expect to be blessed like that, you know. So, and then when the shop called me to pick my car up, and they handed me that check, I went and cashed it. But I went to Subway and bought everybody their lunch and then dropped it back off. See, you've got to know how reciprocity works. And when you sow into somebody, I'm not sowing into people just because. I'm sowing and being spirit-led to bless as God gives me. Because see, if you can remember, before we started living for God, everybody wanted to be our friend. But when we was broke and didn't have no more weed or no more drink, baby, they weren't there.
Yes, it's true.
So now, because we done been through so much and we're willing to wait on God, because baby, doesn't nothing shake or move me. Nothing. Because the devil done thrown everything he possibly could at me. The condominium, the sink, the tub, the house. And I'm like, really? Okay, what I got to go through now, God? I have to just get on my face and praise a little more and worship a little more and rejoice in the midst of it. Because my pastor told me, when you enter the storm with a good attitude, an excellent attitude, you're going to come out with excellent results.
Yes, I believe that. I really do believe that. I always
Yeah.
tell kids, anything negative comes your way, switch it to positive. I always tell all my children that all the time.
Yeah.
They look at me crazy. Mom, this is what I'm going through. How can you see that at this time? And I'm like, listen, trust me. I've been through hell and hell water. You don't even know. And, you know, I tell them all the time. I say, you know, I used to say, oh, God got me. God got me. God got me. I always used to say that. I said, I don't need nobody. I said, God got me. And that's important. That's, you know, I don't need love. I don't need that fake love. I know that God is real love and that he's going to protect me because I'm his child.
God will put the right people in your path to love you and love you for who you are.
Yes.
And God will send people to help you. Because another incident, because when I got on the plane coming to Texas, I told God, I said, check this out. I'm done picking friends. I don't know how to pick friends because everybody want to use me. Everybody want to abuse me. I'm done. You got to pick my friends. And believe it or not, most of them have come through Facebook when God gave me Facebook. I was literally a basket case when God gave me Facebook. And I'm like, you want me to encourage people, and I am a spicy disaster. And he goes, but when you encourage others, you're encouraging yourself. Yeah. And I'm healing you. I'm healing you to heal somebody else. Yeah. So I said, oh, that's why I cannot not post. Because one time I posted, and I post public, and this person reached out to me. They're ready to commit suicide.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, hey, what I say now, And then God gave me everything I needed to say. Today, this person is living life in such a way, somewhere in Dubai.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I do not take no credit. I don't take no credit.
You should.
That's why I don't even take no credit for my career, because I'm following my passion and my dreams. But in this journey, I'm doing the work for God, because there's a whole lot of people in Hollywood that don't know. They know of Jesus. They know the religious talk. But when I break it down to them as God gives it to me, it's a whole, they leave better than the way that we met.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a great, you saved someone's life, and God went through you to make that person save their life. And that's a great feeling. You do get credit for it, because if you didn't put your daily post up, that person might not have reached out to you. And God came through you to get that person not to kill themselves. And that is amazing. I know the feeling. I've had a couple of people, they were at the last straw, and they're like, oh, Jackie, I know you're in the Bible studies. I need you to pray for me. I pray every day, even on my worst person that hates me, that I know that they hate me and despise me. I pray everyone lives a long, healthy life. Because you know what?
Yes.
If I pray death on them, then God's gonna be like, oh, you're praying for the devil because you want this on them. And I don't think like that. I pray that everyone stays healthy. We're in a crisis right now, a really big crisis. And God let certain people live and survive during this tough time, during this battle that we're going through. And we are so blessed to be here today. And I've had some like health problems, real serious health problems, blood clots, cancer, a lot of different things. And I'm blessed to I went be the doctors, I signed myself out of the hospital against the doctor's will, because I was doing the medicine for 12 days. It made me deathly sick. Like the way I went in, looking in my face, I felt like the medicine was killing me. And I was throwing up on myself with the mask on. And waking up, my cousin came to see me, and she'd be like, what's wrong with you? Trying to wake you up, you got throw up all over you. And I wake up choking on the throw up. But the medicine was killing me. I felt it. I wasn't feeling that way when I went in. So I'm like, you know what, I'm getting out of here. I don't want that medicine you guys are giving me. That's killing me. I know it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, this is going to cure you. It's going to shrink it. No. And then I left. And then someone reached through me to me on Facebook, and they said, drink aloe drinks, straight aloe. It has to be the aloe plant, not that artificial stuff. And I said, you sure? And he said that he never did chemo. He never did any of the medication or any of that. And he did a straight aloe drink every single day. That's all he drank. So I started doing that. I went back to the doctors. They're like, you're fine. And I was like, what? And I'm blessed. Like I'm really blessed of all the problems. I had a heart attack in November that just passed. I didn't even know I had a heart attack. Didn't even know until I went for my I had a blood clot in my leg, and they told me I had a heart attack. I didn't even know I did. And
my mother had one of those. She drove herself to the hospital.
It's crazy. God is great. God is wonderful. And I've been through like hell and hell water. But I always praise God, because I wake up, I thank you, God, for letting me see another day. Thank you for letting me see my children grow up. A lot of people don't have their parents in their life, but they never got to see the children grow. So the children are growing by themselves. They don't have that parent, either one of the parents, and it's sad. It really is sad. So, God bless you. I wish you the healthy life. I wish you that, you know, you get to see your grandbabies grow up. You know, I feel like when you have the grandbabies, that's it. You know, you're gonna be selling those
I'm
houses.
putting them no. I'm putting them in the movies too because casting called me on my way to New Orleans, and they offered me a role in another production, and they said, "Can you take a picture, a full body shot?" I was just rolling into Baton Rouge, so I pulled off the road into a gas station, and there's this guy, and he really looked like my son, my youngest son, in the face, because my youngest son has green eyes. And so, oh my God, I jumped out the car with my phone, and I said, "I promise you I'm not crazy. I promise you I am not crazy, but can you please take a picture of me on this brick wall over?"
I do the same thing. I know what you're talking about.
So he took the picture, and I said, "Thank you so very much." So I sent it in. They were happy. The casting was happy, but you know, I literally, I people have to get to this level and dimension in God to be happy every single fracking day.
Yes. Yes. Amen.
I am happy even when things don't go right, and I be like, not today, devil, not today.
Yes.
And then I'll just stop what I'm doing, and I'll go into some praise and worship to shift the atmosphere.
Yes.
See, that's what's wrong, because these pastors aren't teaching them how to shift the atmosphere, you know, because we got some bogus churches, you know, and that's why a lot of people are turned off from tithing and all that. And I get it.
Yes,
I get it. But see, it's up to us to ask God, where do you want me to be able to tithe and seed sow?
Yes.
Because God don't want you tithing in dead ground.
Right.
He don't want you tithing in people that are doing all kind of witchcraft behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you have to, you are very blessed, very blessed, very, very blessed, because anybody that deals with blood clots, they usually go into panic mode.
Yes.
And let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. If God isn't gonna panic, and he knew it was gonna happen way beforehand, I'm surely not gonna panic.
I take a shot every day to my stomach, a blood thinner. And everyone's like, "How do you give yourself a shot?" I said, "It's either that or I'm not going to survive," because my body just produces blood clots. And I've been on like the pills, I've been on heparin, I've been on, you name it, Coumadin, I've been on all that. It didn't work. And I got the blood clot being on the shot, you know, and they don't know why I got it, but that's how they saw that I had the heart attack. So maybe having the heart attack made a blockage. But in April I'm supposed to go in for surgery to remove the vein that goes to your heart. I'm going to be having major surgery in April. I'm on a waiting list right now because of the COVID. So,
Right.
But I know God got me. I don't worry.
Yeah.
You know, and I tell my kids not to be worried. They've been worried, and I'm like, don't worry. I got this. God got me, you know. I just got to keep on taking the medicine, and, you know, God got me.
And that's also a form of healing, because I couldn't walk, and I was deathly afraid of having major surgery. But when my pastor and my mentor broke it down, it's a form of healing too.
Yes.
But because the radiation expedited arthritis in my hips. So, yeah. So we'll talk about that when you get here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
In pain?
yeah.
Are you in pain a lot?
I don't have no pain, honey.
Oh, that's amazing.
They had to convince me they did my hip surgery.
Wow.
I was in recovery, waking up, and I said, well, I was agitated. I said, when are you going to do the surgery? And they said it's done. I said, no way. They lifted my gown up and showed me the scar where it was taped the skin was taped together. So now I have 2 matching scars.
Oh, wow.
Because I hurry up and had the other one done because I didn't want the doctor to retire and I didn't want 2 different people on me.
Right.
So you've got to learn how to become one with your body, with your hips.
I love it. I love it. I definitely love it. And I'm glad that you're not in pain. Amen to that. Definitely. And you know, you're like me. When I'm going for the surgery, she did one of my surgeries a couple years ago, like 3 years ago. And she's amazing because the recovery I hear like this. And I said, it has to do with the doctor. I really feel a lot of these doctors are amazing and their gift, they got a gift. Some of these doctors are just in it for the money. So they rush things and they don't care about the patient. But you got to find
Well,
a doctor.
I experienced that. And I mean, they wanted me to quit smoking and I already got an attitude. I had to quit smoking. So, motherfucker, I got an edge. You know what I'm saying? Then they tell me, after I done jumped through all these hoops with flames around them and shit, then they said, well, and then they sent a black doctor in. I was like, really? You think I'm going? I said, okay. He says, well, we think you're not a good candidate, that you might yell at the staff in rehab. But if you fall, we'll have to. I said, you know what? And I knew the Holy Ghost caught my tongue. I said, well, maybe you're not supposed to touch me anyway.
Yes.
Because God didn't give me favor with you.
Right.
And I got up and I walked out the office. And I never gave up and found the doctor. When I walked in that office, you could feel the serenity. And in the waiting room was a Bible.
Yes.
So I hurry up and had double hip surgery. Now, my mama had double knee surgery at 73. She walked better than everybody in the family.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially in 70s. Wow, that's amazing because 70s they didn't have the technology what they have now. So she definitely had a good doctor.
She had titanium. And a lot of people that get knee surgery usually have plastic and steel or metal. But she was fortunate because she had her own insurance, and then she was also on my sister's insurance with Kaiser, so they had really good doctors.
Oh, that's good. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I feel bad because, you know, some people that are on, you know, welfare insurance or, you know, state insurance, you know, some doctors be like, oh, you have this, you know, they judge them. And it's like, you're a doctor. They're already paranoid of what the kind of surgery they have to go through. So why don't you be that kind heart instead of being that cold heart? You know, we understand you're just caring about a check, but imagine what the body and trauma is going through the person's brain. You got to relax them, soothe them. You know, I believe everybody has PTSD. I believe that. Everybody. But certain things set it off to trigger it more for other people. You know, right. If it's becoming a mom, they say your hormones don't go back together. But I don't believe that. I believe, you know, how the husband's treating or how's the boyfriend treating. Is he being supportive to the mom when she's getting up every 4 hours or 2 hours for that baby? You know, people don't take that in consideration, you know, and especially if you have C-section, you know, that's a major surgery. I've had it. And, you know, that recovery is, I'm telling you, that's a recovery you have to really recover. And, you know, to do laundry and, you know, to take care of the baby, and you're getting up and down and, you know, bending your abs, and you're not supposed to be bending, so you have to put the baby upward. People don't take any of that consideration. And I really feel that these gentlemen that, you know, not all of them, but
not all of them, I'm in agreement, not all of them. Not all of them.
Not all of them, but a lot of them will be like, oh, you just had a baby, you're good. You know, they think that we recover like this, but you try having a major surgery, or you try pushing a baby out of your small hole, and a baby's head is big. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to start considering especially if these
But
gentlemen
no,
want.
no, no, no. You know what? It's like this. If they were never taught, it all starts at home.
Yes, you're right.
If they were never taught and they let the streets teach them, that's why a lot of these men, a lot of these females are discombobulated, because my children wore their pants around their waist. They weren't skin tight or anything like that. You know, I instilled and incorporated good values, great morals, because they were instilled in me. But you got to understand, I don't know, and it's already in the Bible of this generation.
Yes.
And it's a wicked generation. And even the adults are following right in line with this wicked generation, meaning they have, if you don't ask God to show you you, then you're going to be a petty motherfucker. And forgive my language, but I'm being straight up. You have to ask God to show you you. Because all this, I'm this and I'm that, and, you know, don't play with me, you know. Yeah, when people start coming at me sideways, and I have had it up here to enough, I'm telling you, I tell people, I'm not going to argue, but I promise you, God is still working on me. I will reach out like AT&T and touch you. And I pray it not ever gets to that point again in my life. But I know it's there.
Right.
But see, that's why I ask God to show me me. Because I'm not going to be a grown woman with a 10-year-old's mentality or a bully's mentality. I'm just not going. No, not happening. And this is what's wrong with society. They will not ask God to show them because they really know who they are. Right. By their character and their behavior. So when people try to tell them the truth, then they want to get an attitude.
Yes. Yes, it's true.
And so these are the ones, never correct a fool or you'll become foolish right along with them.
Yes, it's true.
You know, I just am a firm believer, when I assess a person's character and when I see how you move, you can keep moving like that, but I got to move accordingly. Because if you do them, you gonna do me sooner or later.
Right, right.
You know, but I don't have to be petty and argumentative, and because if you want to argue and have a long drawn out sermon, that's when I be like, blah, 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 blah. Cut it, because I don't have the time nor the energy to go there because I got too much to accomplish because I done messed off the first half of my life thinking I was a whole bag of chips. Come on.
Yes, it's true. It's facts. Definitely. I understand. That's why,
Yeah.
you know, I respect you 1000% because you keep it raw in the truth. A lot of people will beat around the bush, they'll cover it up, and they don't tell the truth. And that's what the problem is. You know, a lot of people, they don't like me because I'm so truthful. And I don't know what it is, but I'm like, God taught me this way, you know? And it's like, I could tell you your Gucci shirt does not match your pants, and they're gonna be, oh, it's Gucci this and Gucci that, oh, this and that. How are you telling me it's Gucci? It's Gucci. I'm like, it doesn't match. I'm being honest with you. You want me to be honest?
Yeah.
You say, how do I look? I say it doesn't match. I'm being honest. You know, a lot of people don't like when people are real, and it's sad, really sad. And it took me last year, I would say, to see who's really real and really not real, you know. And
it's okay if they're not real.
Right.
It's okay. Because
right.
I'm not qualified to be your therapist.
Right.
I'm not. And I'm not going to waste my energy doing that. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Because all that those people are distractions. I know what my distractions are, and I keep it moving.
Yeah.
And so that's not going to ever change in the grand scheme of things, because we're going to always come up against the test with people.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, God, there's certain times when I know the test always comes up concerning if I'm going to beat the brakes off someone or not.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I mean, no. I'm being really honest. And sometimes I'd be like, nope, I'll pass.
Yep.
No, Daddy, can I just go? Can I cross the street? Because I don't feel like having to go repent later.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
I know you're feeling. I know how you feel. It's crazy. When's your birthday? When's your birthday?
March 31st.
So what's your Pisces?
Aries.
Aries. I gotta look it up. I'm a Gemini, but I'm at the end of the Gemini. They say I'm more of a Cancer because they say Gemini's a two-faced, but I'm June 19th. So I'm 2 days before Cancer. So I act more like a Cancer. And everyone says that. And it's crazy because how you think is how I think. And it's crazy, but it's God's children. We're God's children. It really comes down to it. It really
Right.
is.
See, that's the thing. I don't even trip on zodiac signs anymore, because when people ask me, really, what's my sign? I tell them the cross.
I like it. I like it.
You know, and I can't wait till you have Miss Bella on. She's another phenomenal soul.
Okay.
I mean, she's a phenomenal soul
Okay.
that does global stuff.
Yes.
So that's all I'm going to say, because you think you know me by soul. You're going to know her by soul.
Awesome. I really look forward to doing her. She was on here a little bit. She said, "Love Star Bentley Conrad." She said that to you.
Yeah. She's
Salute.
she's a pretty awesome individual. But my sister in California, my prophet, my mentor, I know God put them in my life to grow me up, to become and correct me. See, one thing we don't get to choose in life is who corrects us.
Yes.
You can receive correction and become wise, or you can reject correction and be a fool.
It's true. Definitely. I like that. I like when someone corrects me. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. And I learn something every day. I admit that. I'm 43 years old. I learn stuff from my 11-year-old, or my
That's right.
children. And they're like, "Mom, are you all right?" And I'm like, "I didn't know that. I'm being honest. You want me to lie and say I didn't know that? I'm learning something. And they look at
Right.
me like, "Mom, you're supposed to know everything." I said, "No, God's the only one that knows everything, not me. God does."
Right.
And I appreciate when someone corrects me that really is for my benefit, not just to
Yeah.
say something, but really wants me to feel at the same time. Those people
Right.
stay away from me. I want the real
Right.
correction. Like, I want someone to be like, "Okay, Jack, you're doing this wrong. Try to do this." And I'll be like, "All right, I appreciate that, because my mind's so busy that I didn't see that. And I appreciate that. I really want that. I'd rather someone correct me than me, doing something." And like, I asked my minister, I said, are you offended if I start doing Bible studies? He's like, "No, I encourage it. You really want to do that?" And I said, "Yes, I really want to do that. My grandmother made me do it. And I feel like I can touch a lot of these children, especially when I did that cookout. And the child didn't know what a Bible was. And, that's why I started doing this. I started doing my Bible studies because I do like a cookout, for the children in the neighborhood. Me and my friend, we do it like a couple times in the summertime, and we feed all the kids in the neighborhood. And you know, when the kids come by, I told my son, I said, okay, we gotta go do Bible studies. That's why I told my son. And the kid's like, Bible, what's that? And I was like, what? How did you not know? I said, you don't know what a Bible was? At first I was like, what? You don't know what a Bible is? And then I bit my tongue and I said, not this generation, unfortunately, the parents don't teach it. And I understand with the molestations, the bad things that happen in the church, so they pull away. But we always got to talk about God, because when we were growing up, we had to talk about, we had CCD, we had church or Bible studies. And it just drifted away this generation. And I understand.
I went to church all the way up until I was 15, and then I was going sporadically, but I went back to God when I was 21, when I had my first son, and all of the 80s, not all of the 80s, because I ran amok, because I was running amok on the west side of Long Beach with Snoop and Ice Cube and all them. That's where the era I was, you know. So that's why it's no big deal to me, because I talk to them all on Twitter. And Twitter is real time.
Yes.
And so, and they, you know, they like, well, it's about time you got your life. And you can't, I just couldn't get mad because it was the truth.
Yes, yes. That's amazing. You know, I feel good when I do it. I really do. And I encourage anyone to talk about God, you know, embrace it. It's important. It really is. And my condolences to Snoop Dogg about his mom too. That's one person.
Yes, let me tell you, when I met him, my sister, she's my friend, but I call her my sister because I love her that much. And we've been friends over 45, 46 years. And when I'm in Cali, I always spend time with her. And her oldest son and my son were playmates as babies growing up. And so Snoop used to come around the corner and smoke big weed with her husband. And she didn't smoke, but I smoked weed back then. And that's how I got to know him, because it was just right around the corner on the east side of Long Beach.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? He's like anybody else, and I'm glad he made it. I'm just really glad everybody that was real in the streets, selling dope, doing whatever it was, but they were, and Too Short. I even know Too Short because I used to be in Oakland too. So, you know, they were selling their CDs. They knew they had talent. They didn't know how to put it out there. So they were selling dope and selling their CDs out their trunk. So, you know, somebody was going to recognize them even in the streets. So I, like you say, I salute them, because now they're really doing a lot of stuff for the community and for people.
Yes. Snoop Dogg has his foot. I don't know if he still does. I know last year he had the kids, or before Corona, he had the children's football team. Is he still doing that?
Oh yeah. Back in the day, you can always find Snoop on the east side coaching his football team, without a doubt.
That's amazing.
And he'll just like me and you were talking. That's how he'll talk. Just, you know. He ain't got nobody to impress. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He didn't have nobody to impress when he was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to always remain approachable.
Right. That's amazing. You will. You'll be that person. I look at you. They call me the godmother on the streets. That's what they call me. But I feel like you're like a godmother. Like you could go to you to ask you anything. You're going to be like, all right, so this is what's going to happen if you do this bad. If you do this good, this is what's going to happen. And you'll be honest. You know, that's amazing to be like that. And you'll always get that respect because how you are. God made you who you are. You know, God is amazing, and he gave you another chance of life. He gave you another chance to preach to other people. God gave you another chance of like to teach teach one to teach another one. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter about age. You could be teaching someone that's older than you just to kick that knowledge to them, because they're not really thinking like that, because they're too busy with work. They're too busy doing this, too busy doing that. But then when you come and you talk to someone, you get into their soul and you let them, you know, feel it. And that's God coming through you, because you have that gift. And not everybody has that gift, but you definitely have that gift. And, you know, you're an amazing woman. You're an amazing mom. I can feel it like 1000%. You know, and don't ever hold inside you, well, I did this, I was bad then, because you know why? That's what made you stronger. That's who made you. And you know, we went through a lot of people that died in our lives, you know, and you know, it's sad, but we kind of get used to a funeral. It's sad to say, we always will be sad at a funeral.
Rest in peace is trending more than long life.
Yes, I say that all the time.
My good friend, I just spoke with her a couple days ago. She passed yesterday.
Oh, my condolences, Star.
And let me just say this. They wanted me to celebrate my birthday with this other individual. And they wanted me to get there so bad. I said, okay, they said, if you could get here, point A, we'll get you, and we'll get you back home after the party. Well, I ended up getting an Uber to point A. She picked me up, and we had, look, there were 72 motherfuckers up in that house.
Wow.
Right before they shut the world down.
Oh, wow.
I had just came in from New Orleans filming, and NCIS New Orleans, because they stopped production on that, so I went back home but I was happy I got to celebrate my birthday, because my birthday came at the end of the month. So by the time they shut the world down, I was like, cool. I had already celebrated my birthday. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing about it, nobody caught COVID.
That's amazing. That's amazing. God is good. God is really good, you know.
Yeah.
And he gave you, you know, that's crazy, because you were at 72 people, and you know, they say one every 3 people, one every 3 or one every 5 people have it. And especially to be with a group of people at that time, especially when it first happened. You know, like I said, you're God's child. You really are, Star. And,
let me tell you, I'm telling you, I done survived and came through 2021, made it through COVID. But then last winter, I was like, I came home from New Orleans filming, and I always go to the grocery store the next day. And I said, oh, are you guys going out of business? And 4 days before, I was laying on the beach in Biloxi, Mississippi, and overlooking the ocean at the Beau Rivage Hotel Casino. Girl, the woman tapped me on my shoulder. She says, honey, there's going to be a snowstorm.
oh.
So I made it through Snowvid and COVID. Because when I opened my front door, there was like, 10 inches of snow.
Oh, wow.
I literally was held hostage by the weather.
Wow. But that was God coming through you to take time for yourself too. That's how I look at it. You know, sometimes I'm so busy on set filming and, you know, being a mom and, you know, working and this and that. Sometimes God was like, you know, your body needs it. And we don't realize our body needs just a woosa, like, you know.
That's why when you said that, where I'm staying at now, and this is another funny story. I met him on set, and I knew he liked me, but I didn't know he had an agenda. So anyway, he goes, wait, because he knows I work and I work hard. And so he goes, hey, Janine and what is her husband's name? Janine and Julius, they got hotel rooms in Biloxi. He says, let's drive your car. It runs better than mine. I said, fuck it, because I was going to go home. And so we went to Biloxi, and I'm not a gambler. I am not a gambler. I already know it's in my blood because my daddy was a gambler and played the horses.
Oh, okay.
So he was good now. He wasn't, when he hit, he hit. And he hit, and he hit. But what I'm saying is, we had all kind of alcohol. We had Patron, we had Don Jose, we had all this up in the room. So I'm just taking shots after we get there, and then I get in the bed because I'm tired, because I'm not going to gamble. So he went on downstairs with Janine and Julius, and so I was asleep when he came in. So when I woke up to go to the bathroom, this motherfucker pops up from the bed, and he goes, come on over here. I was like, no, man, it ain't even that kind of party. You already know what time it is. You just wanted a ride because my car wrecked. I said, no, come on, sit on the bed. I said, check this out. I went in the bathroom, washed my face. I bet you I gambled that night. I went on downstairs because when I came back out of the bathroom, I peeked around the corner. He was knocked the fuck back out. So I went on downstairs, and I bet you I went to the ATM and pulled some cash, and I gambled that night.
Did you win?
So,
Did you win?
Yeah, I broke even. I'm just not a gambler. I was just getting out of the way.
Yes.
And so here's the thing. So he's mad now because it didn't go, because he's telling Julius, you know, he didn't have this person, that person. And so I was like, okay, I'm putting two and two together. He said, telling Julius, oh yeah, he fixing to hit and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Well, it didn't go down like that. So their little thing is every time they leave Biloxi, they stop at the Silver Slipper buffet and have dinner. So we're in the line, and he's got an attitude now, and he goes, so you must be paying for your own dinner. I said, no, this is your gig. Remember, my car ran better than your car. I said, in fact, I'm not even really hungry because I'm not, you know. So I said, I'll go wait in the car. And Janine goes, no, girl, I got you. So we went on in, and we had, was that crab? We had unlimited amounts of crab legs. So anyway, now he's trying to clown at the table, you know, and I said, I looked at Janine. I'm sitting next to Janine. Julius is right there, and Jeff is right there. And I said, oh, you want a clown? I said, this is your gig. I said, and whatever he told you, Julius, he ain't even never had a whiff. So, and Julius was like, I said, so whatever he goes, and Janine is like, oh my God. And I said, so whatever he told you, it's bogus.
Yes.
He ain't never had none. So whatever he done told you. So, and all the women that he sees, he introduces me to, and they're fabulous women. And so when we get back, he had me drop him off at this club, and Valencia wanted me to come too. And so she said, well, where'd Star go? He said she went home. So I came back to the house because I had to get up and film the next day. So I came in, showered, and got in and laid down on the couch because I sleep in the den part. And so I hear him coming in loud, drunk, And here comes Valencia. Star, get up. Come on, Star. Come on, have a drink with me. I was like, oh, Valencia, I just went to sleep. And she goes, please. I said, okay. So I had a little shot with her. And he went on in the bedroom and passed the fuck out. Now, here's where the truth comes to light. Because see, I know how to shut a motherfucker down. I do. And so then Valencia went in, but Valencia came back out and she goes, can I ask you a question, woman to woman? I go, yeah. She goes, does Jeff try to hit on you? I go, girl, that's a never-ending story. I said, is that all you asked me? She goes, because now he was telling her all kind of stuff to make her jealous using me. So I said, so she goes, you're honest, huh? I go, yeah. I said, but what Jeff doesn't know, I'm not attracted to black men. Valencia did like this in the chair. She fell over backwards. So she knew he was lying and selling her wolf tickets, trying to make her jealous about me.
Wow, what a grimy guy.
Wait. No, he's really a good guy, because wait. So the next morning, he goes, I hope you got a place to stay. And I want my key back. I said, okay, no problem. So I called my partner, because that's the one I'm going to help move back in her place I stayed with during Hurricane I. That's my spot when I stay with her. And so then I started staying with somebody else. And then the other person, she goes through whatever mode she goes through. But I can't drink like that. I just cannot drink like that. And so it was on a Sunday. So I left in the morning, and it was maybe 2 months had elapsed that I talked to Jeff. So I pulled up at Jeff's house and I honked the horn, and he came out and he goes, what's up? I said, I want my motherfucking key back.
Oh.
And he goes, okay, what's wrong? I said, look, I don't drink like all these people here in Newark.
Yeah.
I want my key back. He goes, I'll leave it in the mailbox.
Wow.
So, I have, the people here are phenomenal. I hope one time I get to bring you to New Orleans.
I would like to. I've never been. I hear it's a great time out there.
I'm going to experience Mardi Gras this year.
Oh, I heard that's the best time to be out there.
Well, and guess who's coming to kick it with me?
Who?
Bella.
Oh, you ladies are gonna have a great time out there.
She ain't never been either.
Oh, have fun, Bella. Definitely. I heard she's going for the pageant. She's going for the pageant this year.
Well, she'll get it because she got that little tiny body, girl.
Yes, she's beautiful.
She got it going on. Yeah. Look, kudos.
Yes.
Because baby, when she gets dressed up, she looks fantastic.
Yes. Especially what she does, she deserves it. Anybody that helps anything, I feel in my heart, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you deserve it. You know, life's too short. We're not guaranteed tomorrow.
Oh, God's got so many blessings for her, getting ready to rain on her. Trust me, because she's an advocate for human trafficking. And baby, that is one of the toughest genres to be in, to pull out traumatized people.
Right. And it's happening so frequently now. It's crazy. I was
wait, I don't know. See, what happened was, you know how Ho and them played out and stripping came in?
Yes.
pimping them played out and trafficking came in.
Yes, yes, yes. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
and I pray that everyone stays strong that's in it, and I hope God takes them, removes them safely away from that situation. I really, really do.
I do too. I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you.
I feel like um like that. Remember that story in Ohio a couple of years ago? They found those three women, or was it three or four women that would they were living so many years kidnapped in that house. Do you remember that? And I was so grateful. I seen them on like one of the news podcasts during the when it was Dateline or something, whatever it is. And I felt so bad. I cried when I watched them and heard the story and how they were living. And that's emotional distress. To deal with that and to survive is amazing. I feel so wonderful that they survived it. And I just don't know how. I know it starts when the parents and how they're growing up, but I mean, these guys are like traumatizing these female. And there's a little girl missing in a town out of Boston named Brockton, Massachusetts. I shared it on my page. I think 15 years old. She's been missing for right before Christmas, I want to say. But there's so many. I went on that page of where that city is, and there's a father missing from that town. There's another teenager missing from that town, and I'm like, that's an eye opener. They need to get a special force over there to find out where these kids and the adults are disappearing to. Just like that girl that died. I want to say it was in June. They found her in California or Las Vegas. Remember with the boyfriend, and they got pulled over, and they said that she had a red mark on the face, and someone seen her getting abused on the highway. Do you remember that case?
I know there was another case where this child was kidnapped and they cut the girl's arms off at the elbows and left her in the desert.
Oh, I didn't even hear of that one. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, I really tip my hat and I commend Bella because this is a journey and a task of fortitude,
Yes.
and if I can ever assist, like assisting you, meaning promoting you, sending people your way, or assisting anybody, I love doing that. I just love doing that. And then, I'll make the connection and move on. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes, yes. I appreciate it. Especially I look forward to doing that interview because I know she has a lot of deep things to talk about, especially when that's a nationwide situation. And I don't know how she stays focused, but she is focused on that. And
She's very focused. She's very focused.
I really look forward to do that interview. I hope that it's sooner than later. I really
Right.
because I know that by her talking, a lot of people might be watching that are kidnapped in a house, or they don't know how to reach out. They might not feel comfortable reaching out to the police or someone to save them because they don't have the opportunity. But maybe she can talk. That's why I wanted to have her. Is there any signs that you can do to teach them, like if they're watching?
That's why I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let her tell her story because she got a plan in place. Trust me. So I'm gonna let her tell you. But yes, ma'am. That boss got a plan in place.
Okay, good. God bless. I can't wait. And I thank you for introducing her to me. I appreciate it 1000%. And when she first contacted me, I thought she was a model. But then when I look at her,
I know, huh?
right? And then I see that, you know, what she does, and I'm like, wow, God bless her. You know, she's doing a wonderful thing. And, you know, I know there's people out there that would like to help out on something like that. And, or, you know, people that are, like I said, that they're in a sticky situation, they need help and they want to get away, you know. And I really, I look forward. I thank you, Star, introducing me to her. And I know you guys, you ladies are gonna have fun out there in Mardi Gras.
I really can't wait. I really can't wait. I didn't told my other posse here. I said I got somebody coming, and you go. If you love me, you gonna love her.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely, and that's good. You know, especially out there. You know, they call it a crazy city, right? Out there, the state.
Baby, if you really a drinker, I can wake up out of a cold, stone cold sleep at 3:30 in the morning and go get me a shot.
I love it. I love it. I do. I do. Let them know where they can find you if they want to book you for their movie. Let them know all your information.
If you would like to contact me, you can contact me on Messenger. Preferably text me on Messenger. Please don't call me. And my Instagram is starbentley55 that's my email. Starbentley55 Instagram, Starbentley Conrad Facebook, the real Starbentley Conrad Twitter. And I wanted to tell you, you asked me, this is what I've been wanting to tell you. I don't know, damn, before we got off. Laugh, everybody, for real, this is the last, but I've been after, you asked me what my brand was.
Yes.
I know what my brand is.
What is it? What is it?
It's me, Star Bentley.
Oh, okay, okay.
Because when I get paid, when I'm doing the movies and I get paid under Wendy Conrad. That's under my IMDb.
Oh, okay, okay. So salute.
So Star Bentley is my brand, and very soon I'm getting ready to make an investment and have a stream of income where everybody can benefit behind my sayings.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Salute. Definitely doing it. Keep on doing it. 1000%. I could see you going around being a mentor, you know, to like shelters, you know, the people that, you know, like say like females and males that been in an abusive relationship. And, you know, I could see you being that mentor that can touch them and direct them the right way, which way that, you know, you've been through hell and hell water. And, you know, I feel like you can touch those females that are scared to get out of those sticky situations. But I feel in my heart.
I do. I don't advertise all the things that I do, but I do. And one of my desires is to see, God has healed me in my broken places.
Yes.
You understand? So that's why I can see crystal clear. Maybe it might be a professional woman, but baby, you got low self-esteem. If you are in bed with this individual right here, you've got to have low self-esteem.
Yes.
Because see, sooner or later, and sooner than later, that soul tie is gonna rip your heart apart. Because your self-esteem is so low, you become so attached. Whether it be sexual, whatever, addicted to the smooth talk. These are the ones I want to help.
Yes, they need you. They need you.
You know, and trust me, jealousy. Now, when I had low self-esteem, but you got to understand, that individual provoked. This individual was so insecure and low self-esteem, he had to try to break me to make me have low self-esteem, then blame me because my behavior done got crazy. Don't let me get started, right? You know what I'm saying? Because see, if you want to see the beast come out of somebody, then this is what you do. You're gonna start taking your phone, turning your phone, going outside to talk. If you ain't working for Sherman Lehman, and who else is there? A big conglomerate where you got to go outside and talk, then you are shady. You're doing something shady.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So these are individuals that aren't capable of committing to a relationship, but you keep tearing up people's spirit with your bullshit.
True.
So and that's why I realize I cannot be with somebody average.
Yes.
I have to be with somebody established, because I am my own individual with my own money, with my own investments, with my own, but I can still have a man that's established, that has his own, running his business, doing whatever he's doing, but I know he's anointed to love only me. And it ain't got to be no arguments, because see, arguments done played out. Right. All that bullshit done played out. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me the truth, even if it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But see, this stage of my life, this man is not even thinking about cheating and upsetting his life with drama.
Yes. Amen. 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 It's true. Definitely. You'll find him, and you're gonna be happy once you find him. But I think God has you focused on your career right now. That's why He hasn't brought him in there at this point. So He wants you to enjoy life. He wants you to enjoy your career, and it will come. I feel like you were held back so much that now it's your time to shine. It's your time to be happy. Live life, be happy, and work at the same time. Do what you enjoy. And I hope that you start to get into the real estate. That's important, especially my friend just graduated from that, and she's ecstatic about it. She's like really ecstatic. And my God,
I fell into real estate in '97 when I came out of the pen, and this white girl took me under her wing, and I fell in love with it. And then I was her assistant. And the ratio, when you do subprime loans, I did 23 loans in a month, but the ratio is only half fund going through the pipeline to fund. So they used me as an example at her company. I worked for WMC Mortgage. And now it's an internet company now. But anyway, this man was only doing like 1 or 2 loans every 6 months or maybe a year. And they fired him. And I felt really bad.
Wow.
And I'm like, I hate being used as an example, if it's going to crush somebody.
Right.
I just do what is given to me.
Right.
And I've learned to put my heart into it. I've learned to give my best, even when it looks bleak. I'm going to say, okay, there's a silver lining somewhere, so.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's why I went into real estate and got my LLC, because I love real estate.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
I appreciate you, Star, as always. Anytime you want to interview, just inbox me. I got you. I'm proud of you, what you're doing. Keep on going to the top. And give your shout outs to any shout outs you want to give.
I just want to shout out to everybody on Facebook. especially the ones that have rode this with me when I first got Facebook. They are still on my page and I still interact with them.
That's
And
awesome.
I want them to know I really, really, really love you guys, because you guys not only bless me and encourage me, I know you because you guys, I make them feel where they can call me if they need me. I am there for you guys. I am there. I am there. So even you, Miss Iccy,
I appreciate you.
call me. I gave you my number. Call me.
I'm gonna
Call me just call me if you need me.
okay, I'm gonna program it. I think I have you in there, but I just got in from work, so I was rushing to make sure I was set for the camera. So that's why I was like, oh, that's why I called you on Messenger. But I was telling my son, write down this number, but he was doing something, so that's why I just called you. So I didn't miss you, to make sure, you know, the communication. But I'm gonna write it down I'm gonna program it in my phone, and then I'm definitely gonna call you. I'm definitely gonna call you. And shout out to Shauna Gibson for introducing me.
Oh yes, that's Shantae Gibson. You are my family, and I love and adore you. I love you.
I appreciate you. Is there any other shout outs you want to give?
Just everybody live, love, and laugh.
That's crazy. I say live, life, and love. Live, life. What do I say? The triple L's. Life, live, and love. I said three?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. I always say that. I say I live by those. Those are the three I definitely live by. So salute to you, Star. I really appreciate you. God bless everyone. I appreciate everyone that tuned into this Iccy Show with this exclusive interview with Star. Book her for your next movie or any shows you got going on or plays.
Oh, and if you're in the Dallas area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, June 12th, The Worst 32 Days. Keisha Simone Productions, LLC.
Okay.
Arlington Theater, June 12th. Come out. It's going to be a phenomenal play.
Okay. I actually seen that on your page, so I'll share that to my page, so anyone that's in that area, come out. Definitely. Star, I thank you. Is there anything else you want to bring up that we didn't bring up? I appreciate you.
Love you.
Love you too, Queen. I'm gonna text you my number when we get off of this, so you have it, lock it in. You can call me anytime, even if you just want to talk. You know, if you're having a bad day, you know, call me. You know, I'm here for you, definitely. I appreciate you.
Love you too.
Love you too, Queen, definitely. I appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. It's your girl, G Girl. If you want to be a guest on the Iccy Show, inbox your girl, Jackie Brown with 2 C's, I-E Brown. I am booked until June, but I do have some cancellations in April and May. And I look forward to seeing you in June when I come to Texas. So if anybody wants to be a guest, inbox you. That Star, book her. She's a very talented woman. And that was a great interview. God bless everyone. Stay healthy and get ready for the snow that's coming.